Welcome. It's good to have you with me again today. If you're watching this live, it is Good Friday. You're very welcome to be with you. My name is Andy and I'm the pastor here at Community Church Longton. There's a lot that happens on Good Friday for us, and it is a very emotional time. So let's jump straight in and read a piece from Matthew's Gospel. I'm reading from Matthew 27, 24 to 32. When Pilate realized that the riot was about to break out and it was useless to reason with the crowd, he sent for the water basin. After washing his hands in front of the people, he said, "I am innocent of the blood of this righteous man. The responsibility for his death." The crowd replied, "Let his blood be on our children and upon us." So he released Barabbas to the people. He ordered that Jesus be beaten with a whip of leather straps embedded with metal and then crucified afterwards. Then the guards took him to their military compound, where there was a detachment of maybe 600 soldiers surrounding him. They stripped off his clothing and placed a scarlet robe on him to make fun of him. Then they braided a crown of thorns and forcefully shoved it on his head. And after placing a reed in his hand, they knelt before him and mocked him, saying, "Hail, the King of the Jews!" They spat in his face. They took the reed staff from his hand and hit him repeatedly on the head, driving the crown of thorns even deeper. When they finished ridiculing him, they took off his scarlet robe and put his own clothes back on and led him away to be crucified. And as they came out of the city, they stopped an African man named Simon from Libya, and they compelled him to carry the cross for Jesus. Before his crucifixion, Jesus was whipped. Roman soldiers bared his upper half of his body. They tied his hands to a pillar. It was an awful thing that they did. They would have forced him to pen double so that his spine column was exposed. And then Jesus would have been flogged with a three-pronged whip comprised of 3 leather thongs with pieces of bone and metal and chain tied into it. Whipping or flogging always preceded capital punishment, so the prisoner was weakened and died quickly on the cross. The violent lashing of Jesus' body tore his skin and bared his flesh to the very bone. Many victims, before they even encountered the cross, would have died because of the flogging. Many were even paralyzed, and few even remained conscious after this horrific punishment. And after the flogging came the mocking. The soldiers relentlessly, cruelly ridiculed the Son of God. Jesus was too weak to carry his own cross because of the torture he had already taken, and it had taken him to the limits. Jesus reached the top of Golgotha, and there was a little life left in his precious body. The man who had turned over tables, the man who had held children on his lap, the man who had calmed the storm and raised the dead, was now bleeding in agony. His lungs struggling for one more gasp of Earth's atmosphere. His eyes were glazed with brutal pain. I wonder if the guards could hear the Saviour gasping for his breath. His mother, she had witnessed the first precious breath and now heard him gasping for this last breath. She had giggled over his first coups and girdles, and now had to stand and hear him fight the pain. Yes, he could have called 10,000 angels at any moment, and they would have come and rescued him. He could have removed himself from the cross, but he chose not to. He chose to contain his power. Why? Why didn't he save himself from all this mockery and torture and pain, the pain of hell itself? He stayed there for you and for me. He stayed there because you are the joy that's set before him. You were on his mind as he hung on Calvary's cross. As he was tortured and hung there, he was thinking about you right now today. He went all through that for you.